All right, well, welcome everybody to Music is Wellness. And this will be our last of our series of 3. And so we'll talk about this topic that seems to be kind of a fan favorite, but yet it's not oftentimes picked in our Let's Talk Wellness series, just because it's just so different. So we will talk about it today. All right, so let's take a look at music as wellness, how it relates to our minds and in our brains. So what happens when music is on our mind? So when we listen to music, it's processed in so many different areas of the brain, and are a lot of areas of the brain involved in the incoming of our music. So it's kind of a really cool thing as it relates to what can happen. And you know, if I would put music on right now, depending on the genre, it would affect you in a specific way, maybe have you know, different memories to it, or just a different feel in the body. So you can see the variety of areas of our brain, like almost every single part of our brain is affected. Like as you can see, it affects our part of our brain that connects our left and our right hemispheres. Even the motor cortex, the movement, foot tapping, dancing, playing an instrument is affected. Our prefrontal cortex, that part of our brain that says all is well, really related to stress management, creation of expectations, validation, satisfactions, and expectations. So it's kind of an interesting part of our brain that encompasses a lot of areas. And then our nucleus accumbens, which is emotional reaction to music. And we definitely have that. The amygdala is the emotional reactions to music as well. And then we get into our sensory cortex, the tactile feedback from playing an instrument and dancing. Auditory cortex, the first stages of listening to sound, the perception, the analysis of tones. The hippocampus, the memory for music, music experience in context. Visual cortex, reading music, looking at a performer or one's own movements. And the cerebellum, and the movement such as the foot tapping, dancing, playing an instrument, also involved in emotional reaction to music. So just a variety, the whole brain is involved. And so it's a pretty cool thing as it relates to not only what we need in our life, but also healing. So healing and managing different aspects of our life, managing stress, healing from injury, healing from emotional pain. So music can definitely be part of whole person care. And then music expresses that which cannot be put into words and that which cannot remain silent. And so if we think of that whole person care, when do we notice ourselves kind of gravitating toward music? You know, there's just so many different, you know, different times where we might hear some music off in the distance and wonder what it is. We might turn on the radio because we need to hear some music, and then it all depends on you know, what radio station do you listen to and why? And do you listen to different radio stations at different times, or different music at different times in your life? So just kind of thinking about what that music expresses within you can be so very powerful. So what does it mean, like a whole person? We're more than just our brain. We're more than just, oh, I want to listen to music. There's so many different components. There's that mental component to music, physical component. You know that, you know, there's, start tapping your toes and start kind of moving when you hear music. There's a spiritual side, social side, thinking of, for instance, you know, when we're all together for a birthday party, people sing happy birthday, and it's very social. Emotional side, I have he's 16 years old now, so probably kill me if I told this story, but when he was little, sitting in a high chair at a restaurant, all of a sudden he would just kind of silently be weeping to himself, and and we just like, what's wrong? You know, we checked, make sure he wasn't hurt. And then we realized there's classical music playing, a very slow song playing on the overhead radio. And he was always just very emotionally connected to music that way, and he would get emotional, and still to this day he'll listen to music just to be in that place where he you know, first heard it, and just to be there, and some just to feel all the feels. So it's just a really interesting part of his life and our life, right? Music does bring us back to a time and place, and then we can feel it both physically and emotionally, and you know, take us back to memories. Occupational as well, financial, and then we're right back up to that mental. So music enhances wellness in all areas of our life. So feel free to put in the chat, like, are there any of these areas that music has really enhanced or changed you, or you feel like you need it during a specific time, as it relates to any of these areas of whole person care? Okay, so music benefits your wellness journey, and how does it? So many different areas. It definitely can facilitate emotional expression, and we see this, you know, we see this a lot when we kind of come together, and I know we haven't been able to do this, you know, through COVID, but we went to Chicago a couple of weekends ago for a hockey tournament, and the Navy Pier had just opened up, and there was music playing, and you know, groups were forming, and you know, still a lot of social distancing, but the groups are forming around the music, and people were just tapping and moving, and you know, dancing around together. And so they were just, you can kind of have that emotional expression through music and movement, and just thoughts and feelings. It can enhance quality of life in so many areas. We know that when I work in the hospital, and we will bring music therapy right into the room, and we'll even you know, ask people, you know, what they like to hear, and we have a care network TV station that all it does is plays relaxing music. And my oldest son, he's been working with a group of people who go into nursing homes, and they talk to like dementia patients and their families, and find out what type of music they like, and really explore that. And then they put together some playlists for dementia and Alzheimer's patients, so they can listen to their own playlist. And it's amazing how they change from just kind of sitting, not moving and not talking, to having this life in their eyes, and remembering all of, you know, the past times that that music meant so much to them. And so they go from sitting and not moving to just being back into the room, and being able to have conversation again. So very powerful. And it provides opportunity to reminisce almost right away, right? So it gives that feeling of nostalgia, and oh, I remember the first time I heard this song, or you know, I get that when I listen to 80s music. It kind of brings me back to that time, and so I don't want to listen to it very often, because I don't want that nostalgia to go away. So I only listen to it every once in a while. And so you might have some music that you listen to that brings you back and offers opportunity to reminisce, and just be in that moment and think about it. Also, verbal and nonverbal communication. If you know, when you're in a social situation, and you're around people who kind of like the same music, and a song comes on, you don't really even have to say anything. You're like, yeah, this is it. And you don't even have to talk. It's just, you can talk right through the music. And then we do know we use this a lot in the hospital. It can reduce perceived levels of pain and anxiety. And I'll be giving you some resources at the end that there is a song that can decrease anxiety by 65%, and then also levels of pain as it relates to meditation and helping you breathe and move. And it definitely, research shows that it does reduce the perception of pain levels. Music also builds community. It brings cultural awareness. If you ever get the chance to go to any cultural events where there's singing and dancing, where they show their cultural experiences, it's so different and so amazing at how different countries and cultures have their different ways of moving and different music. It also increases physical exercise. So if you've ever been out for a walk or a run and you're listening to music, if the beat is faster, you definitely can feel yourself kind of moving to the beat. So it'll increase your physical exertion. Or if it's time for cooling down, it's good to listen to a beat that's a little bit lower to lower that heart rate and cool down. And there's also music for self-compassion. So very important. So what do what helps you kind of feel more compassionate about yourself and to use that as a healing tool to be able to not only have more compassion for ourselves, but better take care of ourselves. So very, very powerful. And like I had mentioned, it can enhance your movement. It can provide a lot of different opportunities for relaxation, and there's so much different music depending on the hertz level and the frequency of the music. It can either help increase your level of focus, or it can help you relax in a way that you need to. And I'll give you a few of those in a moment. Gives you opportunities for mindfulness, just going for a walk and being outside, even listening to the birds singing and all of the different types of birds. Even that sound of the birds singing can help you be in that moment. Like you're there, you're walking, you're listening, you're feeling what's going on around you and within you and in that moment. And that sound of just that simple singing of a bird that you notice can bring you back to that moment of walking. And depending on where you are, what you're doing, sometimes if you're listening to the radio and a song comes on, it can bring you back to this one moment. So opportunities for mindfulness. It can definitely enhance memories, and we see that all the time, and especially when my older son works with those Alzheimer's and dementia patients, just talking to them while they're listening to the music or right after, when their eyes just light up, they really start talking about different memories that pop up in their music, and it's so very powerful. And then that when it brings you back to a place that you had long forgotten because you hadn't heard the song in 20 years, can definitely bring you back. Music can build relationships as well. It's kind of a common thing that works so many different areas of our brains. So if you have a chance and you meet all together to listen to music, like before a meeting, it definitely changes the tone of the meeting. And when we have meetings, like wellness meetings at the hospital, I'll have music playing before the meeting starts as people are coming in. And if people are having a really hard day, they come in, the music is playing. It can really help calm people down and allow them a chance to transition between whatever has happened into the meeting that we're going to have. So it can definitely build those relationships that way, but it can also build relationships because you can have that common bond, and it does use so many areas of our brain that it can have that so many different connections. Break down barriers, like we talked about with even cultural differences, that we're all human and we are all that music is that one area that we definitely have in common. And then there's music as education and music as therapy. So we definitely don't want, you know, music as education to go away. Sometimes it's the first thing that goes, but it's so very important. We know that when kids learn how to play an instrument, their math scores go up, because the part of the brain that works on you know, reading music also helps with math. So it's one in both. So very very important for education. And then music as therapy. We do bring a lot of music. We have a medical music therapist that comes into the hospital and plays music. And you know, a lot of hospitals will have a baby grand piano right in their lobby to play music as people come in. Some airlines will actually play different music as people are coming into the airplane to sit. I think there's a few that play Enya, because it's just so soothing and so relaxing that hopefully the patient, or hopefully the passengers will feel more relaxed as they come in to the airplane and sit. So music can definitely be used as therapy in a lot of different circumstances. So how do you benefit from music? What does music mean to you? If you want to, you can unmute yourself. Otherwise, I'll check the chat here. If anyone wants to write it in the chat. What does music mean to you? How do you heal from it? When do you use music, or do you? There are a few. So one person mentioned fun and connection. Another one uses it to teach kindergarten students vocabulary and language. Yeah, definitely. Music is used to help remember things for tests. Yeah, and use it for concentrating. It lifts my mood. Definitely. Yep, all of those things. Yeah, and it's amazing that some of those songs that are taught to remember every single country in the world. I just recently saw that, and it was quite the song. Relaxation, cathartic experience, entertainment, and a profession as a music therapist. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you for participating. Turn on music, dance music, and dance and clean the house. So it's very motivating. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much for putting those in. Music's so very, very powerful. Okay, so what can you do? What else can you do? You can join a drum circle, make music, or bring kids to a music class, go to local concerts, which they're starting to open up again, so that's good. Church choirs, sing the blues in the shower, pick up some old records, karaoke, learn to play the kazoo or harmonica, so different easy things to do. Pick up a guitar, sing around the campfire, join a community musical theater, plan a good feel-good playlist for a morning commute. So there's a lot of traffic, you won't even notice it. You're just focused on this moment and listening to your feel-good playlist. You know, put your headphones on while you're weeding the garden. Listen to music for relaxation, or combine it with guided imagery. Very, very powerful. You know, something to do. You know, sing a lullaby to a baby, run while listening to your favorite rap artist to really get a good workout in. So just a variety of different things that you can do. So what else? How can you use music to achieve wellness in your life? And I know a variety, or you already said a variety of things, but is there anything else that you can think of that you either use music for, or you could use music for? As it relates to self-care or relaxation, sleep. You know, one thing that is, you know, to think about is oftentimes they're, depending on the restaurant, they will play, if they want the tables to turn over quickly, they'll play music that's very, you know, fast beat. And in other restaurants, if they want you to sit and order more, they'll play really soft, slow music to have you sit, and you know, then you'll order dessert, and then you'll order after, you know, after meal drinks, and then you'll just stay and keep ordering more. So it depends on the restaurant. They kind of use that to their advantage for profit. It's kind of interesting. Let's see, so just something definitely to think about. So where can you make music? There's definitely you know, meetup groups, community education, community theater, church, music schools, both private and group lessons, concert and music events advertised now in social media and the newspaper, concerts in the park, which hopefully will start up again this summer, restaurants, fairs, and festivals. So a lot of different areas. I know I do have a friend who does play her guitar at different, and she'll sing at different restaurants for just kind of some live music. And so it's a lot of fun to go and just sit and be there and have a little bit of live music at a place. So if we were in person, we would do this, but the sound doesn't translate very well when we're online. But I recommend, if you guys are in the same room, or you are able to get together like at a meeting, in-person meeting, try this sometime. So basically all it is drumming, and you don't even need to have any instruments, but if you do, you know, you can definitely use them, and there's no judging, no judgment at all. You just start with one person and you just start drumming either with your hands or with an actual drum, or you have some maracas or whatever it is, and just have one person start drumming to their own emotion. And then when the next person wants to go in, everyone just kind of follows suit whenever they're ready to just kind of drum with their emotion. It's so very powerful, the music that is made. It's nobody's really following anyone else's beat, but then it's, I mean, the harmony and the sound that comes out is so uplifting, and it's amazing how, even though we have different emotions coming into it, we can make amazing sound with just different tempos and beats. So that's one thing that you can do. And then another one is some group singing. And we won't be able to, we've tried this before, even in my department. It does not sound good over a Zoom or over a meeting, because the sound tries to only have one person come through. So definitely, you know, try this too. It's amazing how, if I feel like I'm not a very good singer and the next person is, and the next person isn't, and, you know, going around, when we all sing together, we just kind of harmonize, and it sounds so good. So kind of picking one of your favorite songs and singing it. One of the songs that we usually sing is "You Are My Sunshine," and oftentimes people will say, "Oh my gosh, that's my song for my kids," or "My sister and family, that's the song we sing all the time when we're together." Or so it tends to be kind of the universal song. So whatever song, I just recommend, when you are able to get with a group, to just sing and hum. So it's a really neat way to connect and just kind of listen to the harmonizing of just random people. So here are some of the things I was going to show you and that you know about. That song that has, the research shows that listening to it can decrease anxiety by 65%, is actually from the band Marconi Union, and it's called Weightless. And there's actually a YouTube video, a 10-hour version of it on YouTube. And so I know some teachers will play that in the background, or depending on what situation it is, they'll just kind of have it on for a few minutes when the students come in, or when patients come in, or a variety of different things. Or if you just need it for yourself, you know, if you kind of feel like you're having some anxiety, And just playing this is a nice way to decrease that anxiety. Tibetan bowls, and there's a lot of YouTube, just free YouTube, but 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour Tibetan bowls. And we know that the research shows that listening to Tibetan bowls can increase productivity and focus. So sometimes the teachers will play that in the background if kids are, have an exam, just very, very low in the background. So they play the wait list as the kids are coming in, and then they play the Tibetan bowls during the assessment or the test, or during homework or during work time is another good time. And even for us, if I'm alone at the office and I have a lot of things on my to-do list, I will put in Tibetan bowls right in the background of my laptop, and I definitely get a lot more done than I'd expect. And then just go to your search engine and hit music for healing, and it's amazing how many different themes that will pop up. So there's some meditation, there's some happy frequency music, there's some relaxation music, helps to get to sleep music. There's just so many varieties of different types for overall healing. So I would recommend just searching for music for healing and see what you can find. So music is very, very powerful. And so here's another one. Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. And so Plato had said that. So with that, are there any questions? Or any other comments? Let me check chat here. Some of the other, truly miss singing with my friends, tried over so many different video calls, but the delays always mess everything up. Yep, you're so right. It's so hard because of the microphone wants to make sure that the person that's talking gets heard, so singing is really, really hard. If you have Alexa, ask her to play the meditation station or sleep station. Both of those are great calming music. So awesome advice there. So meditation station or sleep station on Alexa. Very cool. So any questions?